Did you know there's a book that the early Christians used, but the church later banned? A book filled with visions, angels, fallen watchers, and the coming of a Messiah? What if I told you that book still exists today, but most churches don't want you to read it? What if this book contained secrets so powerful, so challenging to the religious system, that it had to be buried and forgotten? In this video, we're going to open that book and uncover truths hidden for centuries. Stay with me. Welcome to the channel. Today we dive deep into a mysterious and powerful book, the Book of Enoch. This isn't fiction, nor is it a conspiracy theory. It's a real ancient text that was once considered sacred by early followers of Christ. But over time, it disappeared from most Bibles and was condemned by church authorities. Why? That's the question we'll be exploring. We'll look at who wrote the Book of Enoch, what it contains, why it vanished from the biblical canon, and what impact it still has today. Whether you're religious, curious, or a seeker of hidden knowledge, this story will challenge what you thought you knew about the Bible and early Christianity. The Book of Enoch is attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. In Genesis 5:24, we read something extraordinary. Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him. This cryptic verse has puzzled scholars for centuries. What does it mean to walk with God and suddenly vanish? The Book of Enoch claims to fill in the blanks. It describes Enoch's journey into the heavenly realms, his conversations with angels, and his visions of the divine. The book is divided into several sections, each revealing shocking details about the spiritual world. It tells of angels known as the Watchers who descended to earth, took human wives, and taught forbidden knowledge, weapons, sorcery, astrology. Their offspring were the Nephilim, giants who corrupted the earth. Enoch becomes a prophet, warning the world of judgment and revealing visions of the end times. These stories are not only captivating, they offer insights that many believe the church didn't want you to have. You might be wondering, if the Book of Enoch was so important, why was it removed from the Bible? The answer is complex. In the first few centuries after Christ, there wasn't a single Bible as we know it today. There were many writings, letters, and books that circulated among believers. Some church fathers, like Tertullian and Clement of Alexandria, accepted Enoch as scripture. Even the Book of Jude in the New Testament quotes from it directly. But as the institutional church gained power, it began to control which texts were considered official. By the 4th century, at councils like Laodicea, the Book of Enoch was excluded. Why? Some say it was too mystical. Others believe it conflicted with the emerging theological framework. The book discusses divine beings, heavenly realms, and apocalyptic events that don't fit neatly into later doctrines. Its vivid imagery and spiritual revelations may have been seen as dangerous and too open, too wild. And so, it was buried, declared heresy, and vanished from the Western canon. Let's now explore some of the most shocking revelations from the Book of Enoch. In the early chapters, we learn that angels known as the Watchers descended from heaven to live among humans. They fell in love with human women and took them as wives. From these unions came giants, the Nephilim, beings of great size and violence. But the real horror lies in what the Watchers taught humanity. They introduced forbidden knowledge, how to forge weapons, use herbs for enchantment, read the stars to manipulate fate. According to Enoch, this knowledge corrupted the earth. God, angered by this rebellion, sends archangels to punish the Watchers. They are bound and cast into the abyss. Enoch is then shown visions of heaven, where he sees God on his throne and a mysterious Son of Man who will sit in judgment. Many believe this is a prophecy of the Messiah, long before Jesus walked the earth. These visions are not just poetic, they're cosmic, terrifying, and deeply spiritual. One of the biggest questions we can ask is, did the early Christians use the Book of Enoch? The evidence suggests that many did. The most direct proof comes from the Book of Jude in the New Testament, which quotes Enoch word for word. This shows that at least some early believers held it in high regard. Church fathers, such as Irenaeus and Tertullian, also reference the book. For them, it wasn't heresy, it was revelation. However, over time, as the Church centralized authority, texts that didn't align with official doctrine were discarded. Yet, in Ethiopia, the Book of Enoch survived. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church preserved it as scripture for over 1,000 years. This alone is powerful evidence that the book was once widely respected and only later condemned. It challenges our assumptions about what belongs in the Bible and who decides. If early Christians used it and if it aligns with their theology, why was it silenced? This leads us to a troubling possibility. Did the Church intentionally hide the Book of Enoch? Throughout history, powerful institutions have always tried to control narratives. The Church was no different. Once Christianity became tied to empire, especially after Constantine, doctrine became a political tool. Writings that empowered individuals to think differently, to question authority, or to seek hidden knowledge were often labeled heretical. The Book of Enoch, with its vivid descriptions of divine judgment and fallen angels, didn't fit the new system, so it disappeared from the West. Manuscripts were lost, destroyed, or hidden. For centuries, the only complete copy existed in Ge'ez, the ancient language of Ethiopia. It wasn't until the 18th century that European scholars rediscovered it. Ask yourself, how does a book quoted in the Bible just vanish for over 1,000 years? The answer may lie in control. Control over belief, control over the narrative. Why should we care about the Book of Enoch today? Because we live in an age of spiritual confusion. People are searching for truth beyond institutions. The Book of Enoch speaks directly to the heart of this search. It talks about deception, cosmic warfare, and divine judgment. It shows that evil isn't just a human problem, it's a spiritual one, and it reveals that justice will come, not from men, but from God Himself. For many, reading Enoch has been a spiritual awakening. It strips away the sanitized version of religion and reveals a universe filled with mystery, danger, and purpose. It teaches that we are not alone, that forces beyond our understanding are at work, and it challenges us to live with awareness, wisdom, and humility. In a time where truth is buried under noise, the Book of Enoch stands as a voice from the past, calling us back to the eternal. So let me ask you, why would a book that talks about angels, prophecy, and the Messiah be rejected by the Church? Why would something quoted in the Bible be silenced? The Book of Enoch doesn't contradict Scripture. It deepens it. It offers context to mysterious verses. It reveals spiritual realities that make us uncomfortable. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe it's not about heresy. Maybe it's about fear. Fear that the people might see beyond tradition. Fear that control would slip. But the truth always finds a way. And now, in our time, the Book of Enoch is being rediscovered. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you ignore it, or will you dig deeper? If this video opened your eyes, don't let the truth stop here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Comment below. Do you think the Book of Enoch should be part of the Bible? Let me know your thoughts. And if you want more videos about forbidden texts, lost scriptures, or ancient mysteries, type yes in the comments. Because together we're uncovering what was hidden, and the journey is just beginning.